Hello and welcome to the College Admissions Collaborative highlighting engineering and technology college fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Jennifer and I'm your facilitator today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen though to type your questions to our presenters at any time. You can ask a question to a specific school or schools by including the name of the school in with your question, or you can leave a question for all of our representatives to answer about their programs. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. CACHET is hosting panels and information sessions. We have great school presentation panels and info sessions going on and panels on a variety of topics. You can learn more about that and you can still sign up at the same website where you registered for this evening's events. And that's on the screen, strivescan.com/CACHET. This presentation and all of the sessions are being recorded. It will be available at the same website where you register. So we hope that you'll be able to watch and share this again with friends or family, and also catch other sessions and presentations to learn more about other fantastic schools that you might not be able to visit with today. All right, well, I'm really excited to begin tonight and turn it over to our very first school. We're going to be learning about Syracuse University.
Okay, thanks so much, Jennifer. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Hoster, and I'm a college representative from Syracuse, and excited to tell you about some of the great STEM opportunities that we have to offer. There's a total of 200 majors on the Syracuse campus. I would say about 25 of them represent STEM disciplines. Most of those are found within our College of Engineering and Computer Science and our College of Arts and Sciences. We are a Research 1 or an R1 university, so that means we're at the top classification with regard to research, and we have really incredible research experiences for undergraduates. Some of them get really involved in research. They end up presenting their research at national conferences. Sometimes they publish papers about their research, and at times that propels some of them into graduate school as well. There are study abroad opportunities across the globe, so really great opportunities for students in computer science, engineering, science, all the STEM disciplines to have really great study abroad experiences. We put a big emphasis into inclusive excellence programs and student success. For instance, in our engineering and computer science college, all of our engineering and computer science students are assigned to 3 advisors right from the beginning, including a success advisor, a faculty advisor, and a career advisor who follow them through their 4-year career to support and encourage and celebrate their success. A lot of really cool things to do outside the classroom too, STEM related. So it's more than 20 STEM oriented clubs and activities. We have a number of design teams in terms of clubs like teams that build race cars and robots and rockets and drones, etc. We have a number of affinity groups for students of color in STEM, for women in STEM. And really great learning, living learning communities, particularly, but not exclusively for freshmen. So as a freshman, for instance, in computer science or engineering, you could be in a community specifically for students in those majors, taking a lot of the same classes, which makes it really easy to do homework together, study together, and get off to a great start academically. I mentioned that all of our students in computer science and engineering are assigned to a career advisor right away. So that leads to really great internship, co-op job opportunities across the country in their discipline. They make really good money in those positions, and so, a lot of times they're not somewhere near home, so the money they're making is paying for their housing wherever they are. All right, so I'm going to go on to the next topic that I wanted to mention is the Intro to Engineering and Computer Science course that we have for all of our freshmen. So we don't make anybody wait to get into their major; they get into their major right away. And this course can be specific to the major a student wants to do, or it can be more broad. So for instance, if a student says, I want to do mechanical engineering on the application, then their intro class is tailored to that. Or if they say, I want to do computer science, then their intro class is tailored to that. Actually, students in CS have 2 CS courses right away in the first semester. These are pictures of a couple of our students working on those freshman projects. And then there's a cool picture of Dean Smith. He's the Dean of the College of Engineering and Computer Science. That was him teaching one of our intro CS classes last fall. One of the really exciting sort of outside the classroom things that I always like to highlight is this program. It's called Invent at SU. It's an invention accelerator. It happens in the summer, over 6 weeks in the summer. And what the students are doing in pairs or teams, so 2 or 3 people per team, they are designing, prototyping, and pitching original inventions. And it's really impressive, the things that they've invented in this program. The pitching part of this is very similar to what you see on Shark Tank. It's inventors getting up in front of judges and pitching their inventions. It's not all about money like it is on Shark Tank. The first several weeks of pitches, it's about getting feedback from the judges who might say, you know, this is a really interesting idea, but why don't you tweak the design or tweak the prototype? The students take that advice, make some changes. By the end of the 6 weeks, it is about money. The judges determine who gets the prize money. This year, the top prize was $7,500. This is Russell pictured here. He did this program 2 summers ago. He and his partner, Ricardo, invented what he's holding in his hand there. It's called the SugX. It's a smartwatch that monitors glucose levels for people with diabetes. They've gone to many other competitions, pitch competitions since that, and they've won thousands more dollars towards their invention. The top invention this summer was called Sweatration. It's a wearable device that monitors for dehydration, and they're making plans to go to lots of other pitch competitions now. The website where you can learn more is the Invent website on the screen there. And then the Launchpad is our hub for student entrepreneurship at Syracuse. And that's the folks that will connect these students as well as other students with entrepreneurial ideas to opportunities to where else they can pitch these things to win more money, as well as the legal aspects of patenting and starting their own business. So I'm going to wrap up there with just a couple more things to share with you that I think are kind of fun. We have a lot of school spirit at Syracuse, and the leader of all that spirit is Otto the Orange, who's our mascot. And I just posted a really cool link in the chat about one of our computer science students who just graduated in May. And I learned recently that she had been living a double life the whole time, that she not only was she a star student in computer science, but she was also Otto the Orange, our mascot. So her name's Caitlin, and that's a really fun story about her experiences. So there's a couple links on the screen there. One is to our virtual events for engineering and computer science students, which is not updated yet, but it's going to be updated with a robust set of things soon, including a number of sample classes that our professors are offering this fall. So invite you to check that out. So Jennifer, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for sharing Syracuse with us tonight and for starting us off as the first school. All right, really excited to introduce school number 2 tonight. We're going to be learning more about Rochester Institute of Technology.
Thank you so much. And I'm really glad to be here tonight with everyone. Rochester, if you're not familiar, is located in Western New York, so about an hour west of Syracuse. And the RIT campus is in a suburban area, a very modern campus and very residential with close to 17,000 total students, the majority of them being undergraduate students. Even though we are one of the larger private universities in the US, we do have an average class size of 22 and a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have a lot of layers of diversity at RIT, but one of the most unique ones would be our deaf and hard of hearing student population. We have almost 1,000 deaf students, and one of our 9 colleges is called the National Technical Institute for the Deaf. We are a comprehensive university, and beyond STEM areas, we also have a lot of areas within social sciences, humanities, business, and visual arts. But our largest college is the College of Computing and Information Sciences, and the second largest college is the Kate Gleason College of Engineering. We're also one of the few universities in the country to have engineering technology programs as well. And we have about 100 different minors that you can add to any of the majors. One of the hallmarks of an RIT education is the co-op program, which is required for almost all of our majors. So students are gaining real-world professional experience. We have employer partners around the world numbering over 3,000, and 60% of the time students get a full-time job offer from one of their co-op employers. We have a huge team of career services staff that support you through the whole process. And actually this week is our big fall career fair coming up. RIT has a lot of accelerated pathway programs. So if you do want to combine a bachelor's, master's, there's all sorts of formats to do that in. And this past year, we did start offering conditional admission to incoming first-year students that qualified for many of our accelerated programs. But one of the ones I wanted to highlight here is our combined BS-MD program. If you are interested in a medical school program that's a direct entry, it is a program that we have in conjunction with SUNY Upstate Medical University in Syracuse. I wanted to highlight a couple of the new things on campus. We opened a new Global Cybersecurity Institute this past fall. So if you have interest in computing security, we have a brand new facility over 50,000 square feet. So state-of-the-art facilities for that type of program. And we're in the process of building a makerspace, which is affectionately called the Shed. A student won a naming contest to name it the Shed, standing for Student Hall for Exploration and Development. And it's going to be over 100,000 square feet. And in addition to the maker spaces that will be there, and by the way, this is in the center of campus, we're also going to have some performing arts spaces as well. So we're very excited about that. It's scheduled to open in fall of 2023. In addition to our academics, we have over 300 clubs on campus. About 5% of our students are participating in Greek life, and we have a lot of students involved in community service, both in Rochester and other areas around the country. In terms of athletics, just to have a little taste of that side of things, we are a Division III school primarily, but our hockey teams are Division I, and we do have a hockey arena on campus that seats 4,500 people. So there's a lot of school spirit exhibited there, as you can imagine, and our lacrosse team won the national championship just this past May. I mentioned performing arts earlier, and I did want to talk a little bit more about that because in addition to the Sheds facilities that will be coming online, we're also going to be opening a musical theater performance center, which you can see at the bottom right there. So we'll have a theater that specializes in that. And then a year or two after that, we're also hoping to open a concert hall as well. So there's over 1,000 students currently participating in performing arts. They're all non-majors. So STEM students oftentimes have interest in dance, music, and theater. And so we want to have great opportunities for them to explore that as an extracurricular activity or as a minor, for example. A little bit about admissions. We do have differential admissions, meaning that we do ask you on your application to list a first choice major or an exploration choice, which we have many of those as well. And competitiveness can vary quite a bit depending on what major you select. We are SAT, ACT optional for all of our programs with the exception of the BSMD that I talked about earlier. That program does require an SAT or an ACT. And the GPA range that you can see there is out of a 100-point scale. And if you have any questions about specific admission requirements for specific majors, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about that with you. We have a few different decision plans I just wanted to highlight briefly. We have early decision 1 and 2, and then regular decision, which the deadline for that is January 15th. If RIT is your top choice university, I would recommend the early decision program as there are a lot of advantages to that. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that. And we are a FAFSA only school if you want to be considered for financial aid. And the Performing Arts Scholarship that we have does require a digital audition. It is stackable with other scholarships. And if any of you happen to be first robotics students, that has a separate scholarship application if you want to be considered for that program. And just wrapping up here, we do have a lot of ways to connect with us. Virtual tours and on-campus tours 6 days a week. We have virtual housing tours. You can meet with us online in an interview or just conversation setting, but I really wanted to emphasize our open houses, which start tonight actually, and we'll be featuring a different college every night this week and also the last week of October. And we will have a series of on-campus open houses coming up starting October 11th. They're going to be broken up by academic area to make for smaller events. But I really encourage you, if at all possible, to attend one of those. We also have a whole series of beyond academic open houses that are virtual that started last week and will continue on through November and will be available as recordings as well. There's my contact info and I'll post it in the chat as well. And someone's asking me to go back to slide 11 real quick. So I'm gonna, with my remaining couple seconds here, go back. But feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Great catch with that slide 11 in the Q&A while you're live in the presentation. That was awesome. Also, thank you. We have been getting some questions in that Q&A box and we love seeing that. We've had some questions to the specific schools about programs. So please remember, everyone who's attending, parents, guidance counselors, students, please think of those questions and ask. It helps make this presentation a little more personal because 6 minutes is not a lot of time. All right, we're moving on to our third school. Up next, Clarkson University.
Everyone, I'm Catherine Cadamon. I am one of the admissions counselors at Clarkson. Specifically, I'm the admissions counselor for Central New York and a couple of other states. So hello, everyone. I might be one of the people that you work with. So I am going to share my screen and show you guys some information about Clarkson. Hopefully you can see that. All right, so this is our campus. We are in northern New York in the town of Potsdam, which is about 30 minutes from the Canadian border, about an hour from the Adirondack Park, the heart of the Adirondack Park. We are on 640 acres of land, so we are definitely known as an active school, a school that gets students outside, and we definitely utilize the Adirondack Park. Like I said, we are right on the Racket River, as that picture before showed, and we are one of 4 colleges within about 10 minutes. So we are in an association. It is us, Clarkson, obviously, SUNY Potsdam, SUNY Canton, and St. Lawrence University. So our campus, we're about 32 to 3,300 students on our campus. But in the area, within 10 minutes, there's about 13 to 15,000 students. So you get a nice intimate setting for, classroom and getting to know people and student activities. But then as far as social life, there is a ton going on within the town and the community. Average class size, we're about 25 to 35 students in a typical year. That this past year, 2 years, has been a little bit smaller. And our student to professor ratio is 10 to 1. So you really get to know your professors. That's something that we really want students to take away from Clarkson, is that you got to know everyone, and you're just not a number, you're definitely a name on campus. Here are all of our majors, minors, concentrations. It's a lot to look at. Specifically, you guys are probably looking within our engineering school, our arts and sciences, and maybe some of the other programs too. But we are well known for a lot of programs. Popularity-wise, we are about 50 to 55% engineering on our campus. And we have a ton of majors, some new ones coming up too for next fall. So we're excited about that. I won't announce those yet. Cool things within this. So you do have till the end of your sophomore year to declare a major. So we try not to, make you decide right away. However, if you have an idea of what school you want to be under, that's always really helpful. When you're accepted to Clarkson, you are accepted into the overall college. So it's not just, you decide you want to be a mechanical engineer and then you decide you want to go into civil engineering. You do have time to figure that out. Speaking of which, so if you're still exploring, we do have the studies program. So that's saying, I know what school I want to be under, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. So maybe you want to be a science student, but you're not really sure what you want to declare or what you want to do career-wise. That's okay. There's a lot of time. And if you are in this program, you are assigned an exploratory advisor. So that's someone who's really trying to focus you in. A little different from a regular academic advisor. All of our students, though, no matter what your major, you will have an assigned academic advisor. That is someone that's going to work with you for all 4 years. They're a professional and they've done a ton of training. We really pride ourselves on being a small school that can, really guide you and help you with a lot of the transition into college, but also to, ultimately get you into a career or further education, whatever you're looking for. Student life. So student life, we have over 250 clubs and organizations on campus. So everything from athletics, we are D3 for most of our athletics teams, and then we're D1 for men's and women's hockey. So that is also something really big on our campus, especially because we're in Northern New York. Then we have intramural sports. Over 90% of our student body is involved in some sort of athletic group, club, team on campus. So it's a very active campus. And then we have a lot of leadership opportunities for our students and a lot going on as far as special events. What I really like to highlight are our professional experiences. So all students are required to do at least one professional experience before they graduate. So that could be a co-op, internship, research, or study abroad. A lot of those are really popular. Within the sciences, though, I would say co-op and internship are probably our biggest sell for students. Our Career Center works with those students, so it's not just, figure it out, you have to do these things. It is very hands-on. We have our students meet with the Career Center first semester or at least second semester on campus to kind of start mapping out what your 4 years are going to look like. And they help you apply to different co-ops and internships. They're very hands-on, and you're not just assigned an internship or a co-op. You are specifically applying to that, working with our alumni network. And yeah, the Career Center is really great for that. And then after college, just kind of some numbers. We have a 97% placement rating, so we place our students really well within their field, and that's 6 months after graduation. Also, our Career Center is open to all of our alumni too, so you can always come back if you find yourself, looking for a new job. They will work with you, and they'll also do professional development if needed. Some resources on campus. So Student Success Center, Diversity and Inclusion Office, those are definitely, well, all of these are to help students transition and feel comfortable on our campus. Like I keep saying, we are a small campus, so we really want students to, feel part of the community. The town of Potsdam is also small too, so it's super friendly. Hopefully, if you guys ever come to campus, you see that. I think coming to campus for any school is definitely a make or break, but for us, that's really big because we are in a small area. So I think you'll see, how tight knit it is and how much you get to know everyone on campus. And then, yeah, so those are everything. I'm out of time almost. So here's some admissions things, but if you want, you can reach out to myself. I'll throw my information in the chat, but really the best way to reach us is admissions@clarkson.edu. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine, for presenting on Clarkson tonight. We're on to our next school. We're going to be hearing from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute.
Hello, everyone. Let me just get my presentation up here. All right, so my name is Megan Whalen, and I am an Associate Director of Admissions and also the Director of International Recruitment at Rensselaer. So we were founded in 1824 as the first technological institute in the English-speaking world, and we are considered to be a national research university. Just some quick fast facts about our PI. We are a medium-sized school. We have about 6,200 undergraduate students and about 1,300 graduate students as well. Our first year to sophomore retention rate is about 92%. We're a very geographically diverse institution, so we have students from all 50 states, as well as over 60 different countries. 41 majors and 60 plus minors for students to choose from. Our student to faculty ratio is 12:1. We also have over 200 clubs and organizations that students can get involved in. We are one of 2 colleges tonight located in the capital region of New York State. So we are located in Troy, New York, one of the smaller cities that make up the capital region of New York. But lots to do. If you've never seen an aerial shot of campus before, RPI sits up on a hill, and then the little borough of downtown Troy is right at the bottom of that hill. So we're very much connected to the downtown area of Troy, and Troy really has become a destination point within the capital region. We do have 5 distinct schools of study. So a School of Architecture, our School of Science, our Lally School of Management, which is our School of Business, our School of Engineering, and our School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. They are definitely presented this way intentionally, so they're not individual silos. They are very much interconnected. We encourage students to take classes in other schools of study, to pursue minors, dual, double majors that cross the schools of study. So we want your academic experience at RPI to be as interdisciplinary as possible. Rensselaer students can also get involved in research as early as the 2nd semester of their freshman year. So it is something that students get involved in pretty much right from the get-go. It's very accessible. It's not just for science majors. So we encourage students of all academic disciplines to do research not only in their major, but also to pursue research opportunities outside of their major as well. And students and faculty are tackling research topics that are ranging from things like climate change to renewable energy to disease, which currently includes coronavirus-specific research as well. One hallmark of a Rensselaer education is immersive learning. So immersive learning is happening in our classrooms, in our labs and studios, in our manufacturing spaces on campus, but Rensselaer is also facilitating outside opportunities for immersive learning in the form of field research, co-ops and internships, and study abroad. One way we achieve this is through a program called the Arch. Basically what it is, it's an academic calendar shift where students spend 1 summer semester on campus following their sophomore year. You take a full semester of classes, and then that frees up some time in your junior year. So you have some flexibility in choosing the fall or the spring. But to take away or have an away experience. In most cases, that is an extended internship or co-op opportunity, but the program itself is both cost and time neutral. You're not adding any additional time. You're just replacing a semester in your junior year with that summer semester following your sophomore year. You're also not adding any additional fees because you're just doing a one-for-one replacement with that semester, and you're still on track to graduate in that 4-year time frame. So RPI students are both entering the workforce immediately following graduation, as well as pursuing advanced degrees. Some of our top employers and some of our top grad schools are listed here on the slide. Of course, this is a very small sampling. You can find a more comprehensive list on our CCPD, which stands for the Center for Career and Professional Development website. They actually break it down by major, so you can find the major that you're interested in, or if you're looking at a couple of different majors, you can see where students are going for those co-op and internship experiences, where they're gaining full-time employment following graduation, or where they're going on to graduate school. But we do have one of the nation's top average starting salaries for students day one on the job. So that rounds out at about $74,000 per year. You can also look at salary statistics for the majors that you're interested in as well. In addition to academics, we do offer a lot of opportunities for students to engage in extracurricular activities as well. Students are RPI are definitely dedicated to their studies, but they're also extremely involved in things outside of academics. So we do have over 200 clubs and organizations, which range from student interest groups to academic societies and professional organizations, community service, etc. We also do have athletics, so we are a split division school as well. We have 23 varsity sports, most of which are Division III, with the exception of men's and women's ice hockey, which is Division I. And over 70% of our students do participate in athletics, whether that's a varsity, club, or intramural. So a lot of different ways for students to get involved, depending on how much time they want to dedicate or how competitive they'd like to be. And then lastly, just please, follow us on social media. We're active on a variety of different social media platforms. So we look forward to connecting with you on one of those platforms or at another virtual event or in person as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meg, for presenting on RPI tonight. All right, the next school we'll be hearing from is Union College.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Colleen Lovely. I am an assistant dean of admission at Union College, and hopefully I can just get this full screen here. Full screen here. There we go. So you can see my contact information there in the top right hand of the screen. But Union College, we are a small liberal arts college with engineering. We were founded in 1795 as a liberal arts college, and we added engineering around the 1840s. So we do have this long history of very integrated academics. We are a school that when you apply to Union, you're applying to Union College. So any student can study anything that they would like to. We do ask the students declare their major by the end of their sophomore year. For students interested in engineering, we recommend that they declare that by the end of their first year, because our engineering programs, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, biomedical engineering, and computer engineering are all APET accredited programs. So you do have some more requirements because of that. We also have an extremely strong computer science program. Mechanical engineering and computer science are both within our top 10 most popular majors, but we're actually split 50-50 roughly between students who are primarily in the STEM fields and students who are primarily in the social sciences and humanities and arts. So we do have this very great focus on interdisciplinary study. It's very easy to add things onto your major, take classes outside of your major, but also double major or have a minor or be what we call an interdepartmental major. You have a lot of flexibility, and that is really due to the fact that we are on what we call a 3-term approach. We are taking 3 trimesters throughout the year. Instead of 2 15-week semesters, we have 3 10-week terms. So this means that you are choosing classes 3 times a year. It also means that you get about 50% more face time with your academic advisor. So you have a lot of flexibility within your curriculum to add things on, to change things around, to go a completely different direction if you find that the major that you're in is not the major for you. So you have generally about 3 classes per term. Engineers will take 1 extra class a year. So you will add 1 class to have one term where you have 4 classes instead of 3. But again, you can have a very flexible curriculum. You can have a very balanced schedule, and your advisors are going to be very supportive of this. Being that we are a small school with about a 9-to-1 student faculty ratio, class sizes stay small. An average entry level class has around 21, 22 students. An average upper level course has around 12 to 14 students, depending on where you are. Sciences tend to have a little bit larger courses in terms of the averages. You might find that an intro level course in a science is closer to about 26 students. But you still very small classes where you will always be taught by a professor, because being an undergraduate only institution really means that you can connect one-on-one with your professors. Also, you'll always have an academic advisor to go to. If you do have more than 1 major, you'll have more than 1 academic advisor, 1 for each field. In addition, if you're in a pre-professional program like pre-law or pre-health, you will have an advisor for that field as well. And being on this 3-term approach also allows our students to be very flexible within what we call immersive experiences, doing things like internships, study abroad, research. Those things are all extremely accessible here at Union. Because you have 3 terms throughout the year, going abroad is much easier for students to schedule in, especially if they start talking with their advisor about a study abroad opportunity early on. So you can plan that into your curriculum. So depending on where you want to go, of our about 40 different programs in 25 different countries, you can plan out a term where you're studying abroad in or out of your major. You don't have to go abroad within your major or minor. You never know, you might pick up a minor while you're abroad and find a new academic interest. Anyone from an English major to an engineer has the opportunity to go abroad. About 60% of our students will study abroad at some point during their 4 years here. Another thing that's very prevalent at Union is research. Students can conduct research as early as their first year. I've known students to start research in their winter or spring terms of their first year. Oftentimes that could be working with a faculty member on a faculty member's research project, because our faculty are researching and publishing academics. And again, no graduate students to take up those positions or that funding. So students can start research very early on. Research is in every single academic field, humanities and social sciences, through STEM, in the arts as well. So anyone can conduct research. Another immersive type experience that students have a wide accessibility for are internships. Our Career Center is absolutely fantastic, very hands-on, and can really help our students find internships through one-on-one counseling. But some students may also find that their department has connections to utilize as well. So all of these immersive type experiences are very accessible here at Union, and you will find a lot of success within these fields. In terms of student life, we are located in Schenectady, New York. So actually not too far away from RPI. We're in the Capital District of New York State. Downtown Schenectady is about a 10-minute walk away. Students often get downtown, get off campus. We have also a lot of nature in the area. You can go bike rides, hiking, all within a few minutes of campus. On campus, we have a very active community. We have 130 student clubs and organizations. We do have varsity athletics that are Division III, with that men and women's ice hockey being both Division I. We also have something that's pretty neat to Union called the Minerva House System, which is a great way to combine academics and student life on campus. So just some brief things. We do have a very successful opportunity for students to be very successful after college. So as you can see there, some great numbers: admissions, early action, early decision, and regular decision. Thank you all so much. And I'm going to put my contact information right in the chat.
Awesome. I did not want you to forget that. So I was just about to say, don't forget, we want that contact info. So thanks for putting that in the chat. And thank you for sharing so much with us about Union tonight. All right, we're under our 6th school of this 6x6, and that will be Trinity College.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. So my name is Emily Petersall. I'm an Associate Director of Admissions at Trinity, and I am the last presenter. So I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. Share my screen with you there. So Trinity College, we are a small liberal arts college, not unlike Union, actually, in many ways, located in the capital city of Hartford, Connecticut. So Hartford is right in the center of the state of Connecticut. We're about 2 hours south of the city of Boston, 2 hours north of New York City. The greater Hartford area has a population of about 1.2 million people, and we do have our own international airport about 20 minutes away from our campus, so you can fly direct into Hartford if you're coming to Trinity. Here's a campus shot of what our campus looks like. So as you can see, we're kind of the best of both worlds. We have this beautiful historic New England campus that I think is very much what people think of when they think of the historic New England College campus, but we're right in the heart of a capital city, which is very vibrant and has a lot going on. And you can see downtown Hartford and the skyline right there. It's less than a mile away from us. So a little bit about Trinity. We are a small campus of about a little over 2,100 full-time undergraduates. We are primarily undergrad students. We do have graduate programs, but there's only a handful of those, so we're primarily an undergraduate college. Our student body for its size is very diverse. Students come from 48 states and actually 80 different countries. We have about 13% of our student body are international students, and an additional 23% of our student body are self-identified domestic students of color. About 90% of our students do live on campus at any given time, so we are very much a residential living learning community where students are living together, working together around the clock. A little about majors and minors. So we do have 41 majors and 27 minors to choose from at Trinity. As a liberal arts college, there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to choosing your major. So we don't expect you or require you to declare your major until partway through sophomore year. So for those first 3 semesters, you do have a lot of flexibility to try on different kinds of majors, take classes in different areas before you figure out what you want to major in and what you're really passionate about. Of course, if you come in with a specific strong interest, you are welcome to start taking classes in your major right away. The other great thing is that all of our majors are open to all students. There are no prerequisites, GPA requirements, or caps on how many students we can have in any of our majors, and that includes all of our STEM programs. Additionally, it might be helpful to know about 15% of Trinity students do choose to double major. Many more of them do a major and minor, so it is not uncommon at all for students to come with multiple interests or to decide to pursue multiple things. About a quarter of the major programs that we offer are in STEM, and I've listed those here. A couple that I'll pick out to highlight. So we do have a fully ABET accredited engineering program. It's a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering, and you can concentrate in mechanical, electrical, computer, or biomedical engineering. Another program I'll highlight is our neuroscience program. Neuroscience is rapidly becoming one of our most popular majors at Trinity. I think due in part to the fact that our president, Joanne Berger-Sweeney, is a neurotoxicologist, so she tends to attract lots of neuroscientists to her, but also because this is one of the few programs at Trinity where we actually do offer a 5-year MA program. So you can actually come to Trinity and get both your Bachelor's of Science and your Master of Arts in Neuroscience. A little bit more about our academic experience. So as a liberal arts college, we do expect students to get a well-rounded education. So students are taking courses in a variety of different areas, but there's a lot of flexibility in how you fulfill those requirements. So if you're not necessarily an arts person, don't worry, you don't have to make art or draw anything or perform ever. There are lots of different ways that you can take a class that has an art component and get that requirement out of the way. So there's a lot of flexibility within those requirements. The most important thing I want to highlight here, and some of this is actually going to sound very similar to what you were just hearing about from Union, is real world experiences. So our location in a capital city, I think, is something that really opens up a lot of opportunity for students to take their learning outside of the classroom into the real world. So about a third of our students take at least one community learning course, which would be a class that actually requires you to get off campus and engage authentically with the community in the city of Hartford. About 60% of our students study away. More than 80% of them complete at least one internship. Many of them do 2 or more. And again, because of our city location, we have tons of opportunities specifically for Trinity students, and we do allow students to do internships for credit during the semester. One thing I want to mention that's actually new at Trinity is our Trinity Plus curriculum, which has just been introduced this year, where we are actually introducing a co-curricular requirement for students. So in order to graduate now, each Trinity student will need to complete at least 3 co-curricular experiences, which can be internships, research, community learning courses, or study away. So any combination of those, but you have to do 3 co-curricular experiences in order to graduate. As you can see from these stats, most of our students were already doing those things. And so really we're just formalizing this and making it a part of every single student's college experience. Also, 100% of our students do complete either a senior capstone project, senior thesis, or a senior seminar course. For many of our STEM majors, they are doing that senior capstone project, and you'll see an example of that here from my good friend Donovan Palmer. Last thing I want to highlight is our outcomes. So we do have a great outcomes rate. 93.3% of our students are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. And as you can see on the left-hand side, science, technology, and engineering is the second most popular category for our students to go into, with a quarter of our students going into that field. There is definitely more I can share, but I'm going to stop there.
Thanks, Emily, and please don't forget, put your contact information in the chat so that students and parents can reach out after today. All right, so we've reached the end of our formal time. You've heard about 6 awesome schools, but remember, it's just a sneak peek. So we hope that you will take the time to grab information from the chat and make sure that you know how to follow up after today to ask more questions. And also make sure if you have any last Q&A questions, we still have a few more minutes. So I'd like to invite all of our panelists to come back on to do one live Q&A question together. So you can see the question. I've got that up there already. So if y'all can. Great, we're all there, awesome. So I'd love to hear from each of you a piece of advice or a tip that you would give to the students and families going through the college search process. We're going to go in the exact same order. So we're going to start with Syracuse and work our way down to Trinity. When the person ahead of you finishes, just feel free to turn on your microphone and answer away.
Thanks, Jennifer. Do I have 6 minutes for this too?
Sorry, not 6 minutes, but
okay.
I know you'll give your best quick tip.
Thanks. Yeah, this is a great question. I think students and families need to think about admit rates when they're thinking about where they're applying to, and also think about how their GPA compares to average GPAs of schools they're applying to, so they can be good candidates not only for admission but also for merit scholarships at places that offer them. So that's all I got.
And my advice is going to be fast forwarding, especially to the college selection piece, and remembering this is a two-way street, right? You hear back from the colleges about admission, but then you ultimately get to make a choice. And I would just say, when you're at that stage, be sure you're making connections with the academic departments and really drilling down and making sure that it's going to meet your academic expectations, but also can help with your professional aspirations as well.
My biggest advice would be if you have, junior, senior year, if you have a list of top schools, maybe like 5 schools, something like that, try and go to the colleges, go get on campus. All of us look great on our websites. And when you talk to all of us, we're like, this is the best place on earth. You have to be here. But really, you'll just kind of know. Sometimes you park your car and you're like, yeah, I could see myself here. And then other times you thought you were going to love something and you didn't. So I do think that says a lot. And I can speak for myself, and I'm sure some of these guys, we're not offended if it's not the college for you. We want you to figure that out before getting here.
I would say don't be afraid to reach out to college admissions staff. And we're always happy to answer questions, even if it's a more general question that's not super specific to our institution, whether that's about the application process or things that you should be doing or how you would try and reach out to like a faculty member or connect with a current student, we're always happy to answer questions or direct you to where you need to go. Our faculty and our students are really wonderful and engaging as well. So don't be afraid to reach out so that we can make those connections for you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Meg, you took my advice. So many of us, as Catherine was saying, will just tell you how great our colleges are. We all love them. We obviously all go around and talk their praises. But my advice is to see what the students are saying. Students have chosen their school for a reason. They're staying at their school for a reason. So try and reach out to them. I know that there are so many different ways that students can connect with Union College students, whether it's talking on our website, just through a chat box, whether it's emailing our senior interns, or trying to get the contact information of a student who's studying something in particular that you're interested in. And I'm sure every college has different ways to reach out to students. So even if you can't get onto campus, try and connect virtually with someone who is a student. And that's my advice. Is to talk to the students who are currently at the school.
My piece of advice is going to be make sure that you always are putting yourself at the center of this process and not the colleges that you're applying to. I think a lot of times students spend a lot of time trying to figure out what colleges are looking for. But really this should be about what are you looking for and what do you need? Because if you focus on yourself and put yourself at the center, the right colleges will end up on your list and you will get some yeses.
Awesome. Those are great tips from all throughout the process. I really, really love it. So thank you all for sharing that. I hope it helps all of our attendees, whether you're watching live or the recording, to feel like you have a little bit of extra info for this process ahead of you. Well, we've reached the end of our time together. Thank you so much to all of our panelists for sharing your excitement for your students' experience, both in and out of the classroom, not just those facts and figures. To everyone watching, thank you for taking the time. We hope you are inspired to explore each of these schools more. Final reminders, when you close the window, there's going to be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We appreciate the feedback you can provide. And don't forget to check back for the schedule for the CACHET programming. There are more panels and info sessions coming up this week, as well as 6x6 sessions following this one this evening. And remember, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the session recordings and panel recordings at the same website where you register, strivescan.com/CACHET. Thanks again, everybody, and have a wonderful night. Bye.